Nithyananda, and welcome everyone to today's Nithyananda Yoga. I welcome each and every one of you for joining us this morning on this beautiful Nithyananda Yoga session, the most authentic form of yoga in the world, gifted to us by Bhagavan Sri Nithyananda Paramashivam. So before we begin the asanas, let us now invoke the presence of our Guru by chanting the mantra. Please bring your hands together, sit up straight. Nithyanandam Paramasukadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvanvatitam Gagana Sadrusham Tattvamasyaadilaksham Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadi Sakshi Bhutam Bhavatitam Trigunarahitam Sadgurum Tam Namami. We will now continue with the Shivamula mantra, chanting the mantra Om Ham Haum Shivaya Namaha 11 times. I will be chanting the mantra out loudly. You can chant along internally. Om Ham Haum Shivaya Namaha. 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 Now we move on to the ritualistic cleansing, the Pachamani. So bring your Panchapatram with water, with an Uddarini. Take one Uddarini of water in your right hand. Bring your index and thumb together. Chant. Om Atmatattvam Shodhayami Svada. Om Vidyatattvam Shodhayami Svada. Om Shivatattvam Shodhayami Svada. Wash your hands. Rub your lips with the base of your thumb. Wash your hands. Touch the tips of the fingers on above the lip, below the lip. Wash your hands. Bring your thumb and index finger together. Touch your right nostril, left nostril. Wash your hands. Bring the ring finger and thumb together, touching the right eye, right ear, left ear. Wash your hands. Bring the little finger and thumb together, touch your navel, right shoulder, left shoulder, top of the head, right shoulder and left shoulder. Now we move on to the conscious resolution, the Sankalpa mantra. As we create a resolution for today, for your yoga session or for your day, to be successful, to manifest everything that you would want to manifest today. So now, bring your left hand on your right thigh, palm facing up, cupping with the right hand. Close your eyes as we chant the Sankalpa mantra. Om Mamopata Samasta Duritakshayadvara Bhagavat Shri Nithyananda Paramashiva Prityartam Shri Nithyanandeshwari Paramashiva Shakti Sameta Shri Nithyanandeshwara Paramashiva Prityartam Cha Adya Purvokta Evam Guna Visheshena Vishishtayam Asyam Shubhatitau पूर्ण आरोग्य युक्त दृढ़गात्र यौगिक शरीर सिद्ध्यर्थम परम शिव शक्ति आविष्करणार्थम नित्यानंद योगाभ्यासं करिष्ये. Now wash your hands. Om Apaupasprisya. Now put your Panchapatram away as we get ready with warm-ups before we begin the asanas. Now, before we begin, a quick reminder for today's yoga practice is for general wellness and education only. Please listen to your body and practice within your own limits. If you have any injuries, medical conditions, or are pregnant, please consult with your healthcare professional before practicing. If at any point you feel pain, dizziness or discomfort, gently stop and rest. Okay, let us now begin with the warm-ups. Please come up standing. So bring your hands to your hips. We'll start with the leg rotations. Please raise your right foot up and rotate your ankles 8 times to the right side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now in the opposite direction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now resting the right leg. Lift your left foot, rotating the ankle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now the opposite direction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now bending gently, bringing your hands to your knees. Rotate your knees. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now in the opposite direction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now gently bring your hands to your hips. Spread your legs wide little apart and into the hip rotation, making wide circles with your hip. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now in the opposite direction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now bringing your hands to your shoulders. Rotate your elbows wide, large circles, bringing your elbows touching in front of your chest. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now in the counterclockwise direction, opposite direction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now to the neck rotation. Gently rotate your neck in the clockwise direction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now in the opposite direction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now slowly relax. Now bringing the arms in the front, rotating your wrist in the clockwise direction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now the other direction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now with the left palm facing forward, gently press towards you. Now palm facing down, pressing towards you. Now palm facing towards you, pressing. Similarly, the right hand, just pulling the fingers back, facing the palm up, pull back. Palm facing down towards you, pull back. Now while standing, just gently rotate, keeping your arms at the elbows bent. Slowly rotate, right to left. Turn all the way back as much as you can. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Relax. Now we are going to move on to the skeleton dance. A very powerful process we do to integrate our being. Now in this, we will visualize ourselves to be a skeleton. A complete skeleton, no muscles, no skin. Just close your eyes. Visualize yourself that your body is a complete skeleton and shake your body intensely in random movements. No rhythmic movement, just random. Move your body in all directions. Shake your limbs, arms, your body, moving in all directions. Throughout, visualizing that you are a skeleton. So, let us do. Close your eyes and shake your body intensely. Every part of your body. Move your arms, your legs, your hands, your feet. Continue to move. Visualize your pure bones. This helps you to integrate you completely. Continue the movement. Relax. Now slowly walk back and forth on your mat. Relax. Now let us start the asanas. We'll come to a seated position. Today we are starting the Panchama Vinyasa Krama series. In this asana, first we are starting with the Siddhasana Chatwari. The accomplish pose 4. So here we will start seated in a comfortable position with your spine upright and your hips grounded. Draw one heel inward the perineum and stack the opposite foot gently on top, allowing the knees to settle naturally. Cross your arms in front of your chest, keeping your shoulders relaxed and chest open. Maintain steady breath and a stable centered posture as you hold the position. Here, hold the Shambhavi Mudra, keeping the eyes open and steady, gazing outward while the awareness rests deeply within. Sheetkari Kumbhaka. Your breathing is in Sheetkari. What we are going to do is gently pressing the tongue against the upper palate with the tip behind the front teeth. Slowly inhaling through the teeth to create a hissing sound and hold your breath and then calmly exhale. So we're going to press the tip of the tongue behind your front teeth and making a hissing sound as you inhale. And hold your breath and slowly exhale. This is the Sheetkari Kumbhaka. And the Bandha is Mula Bandha, where you're clenching your perineum in Mula Bandha as you chant the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham internally. In Siddhasana Chatvari. Relax. Next is Nivrityasanam, the withdrawal pose. Continuing to remain seated in this position. Start seated in a comfortable position with your spine upright. Draw one heel towards the perineum. Stack the opposite foot gently on top, allowing the knees to settle. Now we're going to cross your arms in front of your chest, keeping your shoulders relaxed and chest open. So holding the Shambhavi Mudra, Sheetkari Kumbhaka in your breath, Mula Bandha clenching the perineum and chanting the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Next we move on to Simhasana Chaturtha, the lion pose 4. This asana supports your pelvic and hip stability, encourages breath control, enhances mental focus, cultivates energetic presence and fosters calm, grounded awareness. In this asana, from a seated position, bringing one heel close to the perineum and placing the opposite foot above. Place the back of your hands on respective knees, palm open, and your gaze to the nose. Open your mouth wide and visualize yourself as a lion. Here we will be holding the Shambhavi Mudra, keeping the eyes open and steady, gazing outward while awareness rests deeply within. And holding the Sheetkari Kumbhaka, gently pressing the tip of the tongue behind above the upper palate and making the hissing sound as you inhale. And clenching the perineum in Mula Bandha and chanting the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Relax. Moving on to Mrigavastikasana, auspicious deer pose. Here, start seated again with your spine upright and legs crossed. So your right foot rests on your left thigh and the left foot rests on your right thigh in Padmasana. So shifting your feet, bringing the left foot to the right thigh and the right foot to the left thigh in Padmasana. Bring your legs to face each other, keeping your knees grounded. Now from here, Mrigashirsha Mudra. So bringing the both hands on your knees with the fingers creating the deer head gesture. So bringing the um, hands into the Mrigashirsha Mudra and keeping your eyes open and steady gazing in Shambhavi Mudra. In your breath in Sheetkari Kumbhaka, making the hissing sound as you inhale and holding the Mula Bandha and chanting the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. So we are holding the hand in Mrigashirsha Mudra, placing both hands on your knees with the fingers creating the deer head gesture. In Mrigavastikasana. Relax. Next, we move on to Sthirasana, steady pose. Now, start seated in a comfortable position with your spine upright, with hips grounded. Draw one heel inwards to the perineum and stack the opposite gently on top, allowing the knee to settle naturally. Interlace your fingers in front of your stomach, keeping your shoulders relaxed and chest open. Maintain steady breath and stable, centered posture. Hold the Parashu Mudra, interlocking the fingers, and Sheetkari Kumbhaka, breaking the tongue to the top, touching the top palate behind your front teeth, making a hissing sound. Holding the Mula Bandha, clenching the perineum, and chanting the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Relax. Now we move on to Sthita Tapana Asana. Steady heat pose. Now remain seated and in a comfortable position with your spine upright, hips grounded. Draw one heel in towards the perineum, stack the opposite foot gently on top, allowing the knees to settle naturally. Raise both hands upwards above the head in alignment with the shoulders. Simultaneously, keeping your shoulders relaxed and chest open. Hold the Shambhavi Mudra, Sheetkari Kumbhaka, and Mula Bandha and chant the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Relax. Now moving on to Pavanasana Dve, the wind pose 2. Here, start kneeling with your knees grounded and your spine tall. Place your forefingers near the navel at the front of the body while positioning your thumbs around the back, to the back. Holding the waist firmly, keep your chest lifted and shoulders relaxed as you engage your core gently as you raise your feet off the ground behind you. So maintain your balance with a steady breath and upright posture. In this asana, we will be holding the Shambhavi Mudra and Ujjayi Kumbhaka as you make a ocean-like sound with your breath. Mula Bandha, chanting the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Here, as we are kneeling down, gently lift your feet behind above. Just raise your feet above the ground. Relax. Now we move on to Purna Pada Trikonasana, full foot triangle pose. Start in a tall kneeling position with your knees close together without touching. Bring your feet wider than shoulder width. Keep the top of your feet flat on the ground and toes untucked. Lengthen your spine as you lift your chest upright and settle your weight evenly through your shin. Bring your hands together in Namaskara Mudra. So being in kneeling position, now spreading your feet as wide as possible and knees are closer but the feet are wide. Bringing your hands in Namaskara Mudra. Here we will Hold the Ujjayi Kumbhaka as you breathe with the sound of the ocean, clenching the perineum in Mulabandha and chanting the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Relax. Now we move on to Simhasana Pancha, the lion pose 5. Now from a seated position on your knees, cross your ankles beneath the perineum, soles turned upward, place your palms firmly on top of the knee to the ground, the body. Draw the chin into the throat and extend the neck, keep the gaze fixed at the top of the eyes. So we are holding the Shambhavi Mudra in this asana and Ujjayi Kumbhaka making the sound of the ocean, Jalandhara Bandha tucking the chin to the chest and chanting the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham in Simhasana Pancha. Relax. Next we move on to Ardha Vrikshasana, half tree pose. So this is an inverted posture. The women in monthly cycle, please avoid doing this posture. And throughout these asanas, the session, please do the asanas in which you are comfortable in doing the asanas. So here we are going to start from a kneeling position, interlace your fingers, place the backs of your hand firmly on the ground to create a stable base. Lower the crown of your head into the palms, allowing the head to be gently supported while keeping most of the weight in your hands and forearms. Lift your hips upward and bring your knees off the ground, keeping them bent. So basically you're going to bring the hands on the floor, resting the foot down and lifting your feet above and bending them in Ardha Vrikshasana. In holding this posture. Relax. Now we move on to the next asana. Ardhangri Vrikshasana, half tree pose. Now continuing to remain in this position, inverted position, you're going to lift your legs, raising one leg up and bending the other leg, lifting the knees, extend the leg upward, forming a firm vertical alignment. So here we're going to continue to remain inverted in the inverted position, and we are going to raise one leg up while keeping the other leg bent and supporting and resting on the other side, other foot. Relax. In Ardha Vrikshasana. In half tree pose. Ardhangri Vrikshasana. Relax. Here in this asana, now we're going to repeat the Ardhangri Vrikshasana on the other foot. So other leg, basically lowering your left leg now and raising the other leg. And in this asanas, as we perform these asanas, we will be holding the Shirasi Mudra, resting the hand lightly upon the head, and Kevala Kumbhaka, allowing the breath to pass naturally. Observe without forcing, maintain relaxed awareness, and let normal breathing resume. And hold the Mula Bandha and chant the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham internally. Relax. Now come down to a kneeling position, seated in Anjalikasana, supplication pose. In this asana, start kneeling on the ground with your knees hip width apart. Place both hands gently over your heart center and keeping your spine straight and chest open. Ground your sit bones evenly onto the floor, feeling a sense of gratitude and reverence. So, coming to a kneeling position, sitting, and bring your hands in front of the heart center. Hold the Anjali Mudra and Kevala Kumbhaka, allowing the breath to pass naturally, observing without forcing, and holding, clenching the perineum in Mula Bandha and chant the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Next, we are moving on to an inverted pose again, Mrityujaya Asana, death conquering pose. In this asana, from a seated position on your knees, place the crown of the head gently on the ground. Interlace the fingers at the back of your head and support. For support, lift the knees and extend the legs upward, forming a firm vertical alignment. Keep the elbows and forearms grounded to stabilize the body. So it's an inverted position where you're raising your feet up above the ground. So here we are holding the Mrityujaya Asana, death conquering pose. Relax. Here we will be holding the Vaishnavi Mudra Kevala Kumbhaka and Mula Bandha and chanting the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Now remaining in the same position, we are moving on to Urdhva Samyukta Padasana. So gently bending the knees and bringing the feet together in the same inverted position and holding the Vaishnavi Mudra, holding the outer vision steady, and Kevala Kumbhaka, Mula Bandha, and chanting the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. So here we are going to bend the legs, bringing the feet together. So I'm going to bring the feet together in the inverted position and holding the asana. So in this asana, as you perform this asana, we would be holding the Vaishnavi Mudra, Kevala Kumbhaka, Mula Bandha, and chant the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Now, remaining in the same position, we are moving on to Khadga Hasana Purvanga, the sword pose. preliminary. Here we will be holding the Vaishnavi Mudra, Kevala Kumbhaka and Mula Bandha, chanting the Japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. So we continue to remain in the same position. Keep the elbows, the feet together, touching, and elbows on the floor, and your hands behind your head, holding your head in Khadgasana. Now, straighten your legs to form the Khadgasana, the sword pose. So, continuing to remain in the inverted position, this time straightening both your legs upward. And hold the Vaishnavi Mudra, Kevala Kumbhaka, Mula Bandha, and chant the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Relax. Now, upward lotus pose. So, Urdhva Padmasana. So, in this inverted pose, as you remain, now bend your legs to form the lotus posture, Padmasana. So, start from a kneeling position and interlace your fingers. Place the hands behind your head and firmly on the ground to create a stable foundation. Lower the crown of the head into the palms, keeping most of the weight for support, and slowly fold your legs to form Padmasana as you remain in an inverted position. In the Urdhva Padmasana, upward lotus pose. Relax. Now we move on to the next asana. In Mandalasanam, the Mandala pose. Here, from a seated position on your knees, place the crown of the head on the ground and interlace your fingers at the back of the head. Keep the elbows and forearms grounded. Bring the knees up, soles together, heels near the perineum. With the toes tucked, walk the feet in a circle, side, center, other side, and back to the front. Maintain balance and spine lifted for awareness. Hold the Vaishnavi Mudra, Kevala Kumbhaka, Mula Bandha, and chant the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. So, now you're remaining in the inverted position, but this time you're not going to lift your feet off the ground. We're going to walk the feet in circles in all directions. So, come to kneeling position and your hands on the ground, supporting your head, bringing the head to the floor, lifting your hips and walk your feet to the side, to the center and to the other side. So continue to do in this posture. Relax. In this asana, we will be holding the Kevala Kumbhaka, Mula Bandha and chanting the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham in Mandalasana. Next, we are moving on to the Khadgasana Uttaranga, the sword pose. So this time you are not supporting the head with your hands. Instead, in the inverted pose, you will be spreading the arms wide apart. So stand seated from a seated position on your knees. Place the crown of the head on the ground. Lift the leg upward, forming a steady vertical balance. Extend the arms to the side with the backs of the hands pressing on the ground. In this asana, we will be holding the Vaishnavi Mudra, Kevala Kumbhaka and Mula Bandha and chant the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Relax. Now we are moving on to the next asana. Khadgasana Uttaranga, the sword pose in progression. So continuing to remain in this position, extend arms to the side with the backs of the hand pressing firmly on the ground, creating a tripod-like support to stabilize the body. Here in this asana, we will be holding the Vaishnavi Mudra Kevala Kumbhaka Mula Bandha and chanting the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Relax. Now come down to a seated position in Vajrasana. So Vajrasana Padakara Mudrasana. Thunderbolt foot pulling action pose. So sit with your knees on the ground and toes flat, resting your sitting bones on the top of the heel. Keep your spine long, shoulders back. Place the hands on the respective thighs with your elbows straight and keep head facing forward in Shakti Chalana Mudra. So awakens the base energy with steady intent, drawing prana upward through the spine. Holding the Ujjayi Kumbhaka with your breath. So making the sound of the ocean with your breath and clenching the perineum in Mula Bandha and chanting the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. So coming seated in Vajrasana. Padakara Mudrasana. And chant the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Next, we are moving on to, in this asana, you will from a seated position on your knees, bring your knees together, spread the feet wide apart. Rotate the inside of your feet out towards the ground and rest your palms on the respective hips. So continuing to remain, this time moving the feet out and spreading the feet wide apart. So as much as possible, bringing the feet outside of your body. Now hold the Vaishnavi Mudra in this asana, holding the outer vision steady without blinking, and Ujjayi Kumbhaka making the sound of the ocean in your breath. Hold the Mula Bandha and chant the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham in Garuda Asana Sat. Now moving on to Gorakshasana Dve, the sage Gorakshas pose. Now start kneeling with your heels together and your knees wide apart, allowing the inner edge of your feet to rest on the ground and with the soles facing towards one another. Settle your hips evenly as you lengthen your spine and lift your chest straight. Cross your arms behind your back and reach down to wrap the index finger, middle finger and come around the opposite big toes. So now we are holding the toes behind you with the hands. In this we will be holding the Prana Mudra, Ujjayi Kumbhaka and Mula Bandha and chanting the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. So spreading the knees with the feet behind and bring the arms together and holding the opposite toes, your index and ring finger together. Relax. Now we move on to the next asana, Kurmasanasa, the tortoise pose 6. In the Kurmasana, we are going to form from the seated position on your knees. Spread your feet wide and spread your knees wide and bring your torso forward, resting your elbows lightly on your knees. And slowly bring your chest down towards the ground and rest your chin on the mat as well. Keep the heels together. Bring your toes flat on the ground as you gaze forward, holding the Kurma Mudra and Ujjayi Kumbhaka with your breath, and Mula Bandha, clenching the perineum and chanting the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. So here, from the kneeling position, spreading your knees wide and coming down with your elbows on the knees and bringing the chin towards the floor in the Kurmasana side. Next is Adho-Ghasana, downward sky mover pose. Here we will be standing with your feet on the ground as well as your palms on the ground. From the hands and feet on the mat, press your palms firmly, spread the fingers wide and lift your hips upward towards the sky to form an inverted V. Keep your feet hip width apart, heels pressing down, spine long and head relaxed between the arms. Engage your legs and core, draw the shoulder away from the ears. Hold the Shambhavi Mudra, Ujjayi Kumbhaka, Mula Bandha, chanting the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. So with your hands and feet on the ground, lift your hip and bring the head between the shoulders. And relax. Next, we move on to Alidhasana, archery stance pose. Now, from a standing position, step one leg forward into a lunge with a 90-degree bend on the front knee. Tuck the toes on the back foot under and keep the back leg mostly straight and grounded. Extend the arm on the side as the front leg forward in a fist while drawing the opposite arm back in a fist close to the chest. So here we are going to be holding the Dhanu Vama Mudra. Press the ring finger and little finger and thumbs touching respective shoulders. So Ujjayi Kumbhaka is the breath in Ujjayi Kumbhaka, holding the Mula Bandha, clenching the perineum and chanting the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Bring the front leg forward and bending into a 90-degree angle and stretching the arms forward and holding the fist and bringing the right hand behind towards the chest in a fist and keeping the left leg stretched straight behind you. In Alidhasana, archery stance pose. Relax. Next, we move on to Ardha Chandrasana Dve Uttaranga, the half moon pose 2. Here, start standing with your feet wide apart and the front foot pointing forward. Bend your front knee deeply. Lift your front heel off the ground. Lower your torso towards the front thigh as you reach your top arm over and beyond your head for a long side stretch. And place your lower hand lightly near your ankle for support. And hold the Shambhavi Mudra, Ujjayi Kumbhaka, Mula Bandha, chanting the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. So standing with the feet wide apart. Now bringing your forehead leaning towards the left side and bringing the right arm towards the floor and holding and bringing your leg to the head to the knee. Now do the asana as comfortably as much as possible, as much as comfortably you can do the asana. Ardha Chandrasana Dve Uttaranga. Relax. Now we move on to Baddha Parshva Konasana, bound side angle pose. Here, from standing, step your left leg forward onto a deep lunge, keeping the back leg straight. Lean forward slightly and thread your left arm under the front thigh. Reaching around towards the back, bring your right arm and around your back to grasp the left wrist, forming the bind. Rotate your torso towards the front leg, lift and open the chest in holding the Parashumudra with your hands, holding the Ujjayi Kumbhaka with your breath, making the sound of an ocean, hold the Mula Bandha, clenching the perineum, and chant the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. So, forming a lunge, bending the left foot, bring your right hand behind you and holding the hands behind you and look up and straight up. Relax. Now we move on to the next asana. Urdhva Akasa Stataka Asana. Upward sky mover pose. So here from a tabletop, press your hands into the ground, tuck the toes, lift the heels as you raise the hips into a V shape. Shift weight onto your left hand, foot, lift and rotate the right leg and place the right foot behind you. Lift the chest and hips, extend the right arm overhead or back, engage the core and maintain steady breath. So here, in this asana, as we perform this asana, we will be holding the Shambhavi Mudra, Ujjayi Kumbhaka, Mula Bandha and chanting the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. So this asana actually develops in strength and balance, enhances spinal length, supports breath control, fosters core and activation, encourages chest opening. So here as we hold the asana, leaning back and raising your left arm up and twisting your torso in Urdhva Akasha Stataka Asana. Relax. Now continuing to the next asana. Pratyadilasana. Archery stance pose repeated on the other side. So now from standing position, step your right leg forward. So this time you're moving the right leg forward into a lunge about 90 degrees. Bend in the front knee. Tuck the toes of the back foot under and keep the back leg mostly straight and grounded. Extend the arm on the same side as the front leg forward in a fist while drawing back the opposite arm. So holding the Dhanu Valma Mudra, Ujjayi Kumbhaka, Mula Bandha and chant the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. So repeating the asana, Pratyadidasana on the opposite side, bring your right foot forward, bending and extending the right arm, forming the fist, and holding the left arm, forming the fist close to the chest. Relax. Now moving on to the next asana. Ardha Chandrasana Dve, Parshvantare, Uttaranga on the other side. So start standing with your feet wide apart and with your front foot pointing forward. Bend your front and bringing the arm down for support and bring the right hand down as well. Here in this asana, hold the Shambhavi Mudra, Ujjayi Kumbhaka, chant Mula Bandha and chant the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Now Baddha Parshva Konasana on the other side, bound side angle pose. So bringing the right foot forward, bending the 90-degree angle, bring the right arm behind and hold it, interlacing the fingers in the back of your body and raising your head and lifting up, looking up towards the sky, holding the Parashumudra, Ujjayi Kumbhaka, Mula Bandha and chanting the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Next is the Urdhva Akasa Stataka Asana. So basically here we are going to be in a tabletop position. So rotating the body up, holding high. In this asana, we will be holding the Shambhavi Mudra, Ujjayi Kumbhaka, Mula Bandha and chanting the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Next is Bhairava Stapadasana, 8-limb Bhairava pose. Here we are going to begin in a plank position with the toes tucked and hands flat. Slowly lower your knees, chest and chin down so that they slightly touch the floor and maintain your hips high from the ground, lifted. And hold the Shambhavi Mudra, Ujjayi Kumbhaka, Mula Bandha and chant the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. So we're going to come down. Your chin, your chest, your knees and feet and hands on the floor. Relax. Now we move on to the next asana. Madhya Khada Asana, middle sky mover pose. Here we are going to be coming down. Start laying face down with the legs extended and tops of the feet pressing onto the floor. Hands under the shoulders, press through the palms and top of the feet. Lift the chest forward and up. Hold the Shambhavi Mudra, Ujjayi Kumbhaka, Mula Bandha and chant the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. So come down and lift your chest, arms straight. Relax. Next we move to Ekapadasana Trini, one-legged pose. So start standing tall with your feet together, arms by your side. Shift your weight onto one leg, grounding firmly. Inhale and lift the opposite leg straight up towards the sky, keeping the leg extended. Here in this asana, we will be holding the Shambhavi Mudra, Ujjayi Kumbhaka and chanting the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham and hold the Mula Bandha, clenching the perineum. So basically, come down, touch your, bring your hands to the floor with both legs, feet down and just raise one foot. Raise one foot above, lift straight up as high as possible. Bring the other foot above, pointing towards the sky. One-legged pose, 3 Ekapada Asanatrini. Relax. Now we are going to repeat the Ekapada Asanatrini on the opposite leg. So now lower the raised leg and bring the opposite feet above, pointing up. Relax. Now moving on to Vrikshasana Trini, the tree pose. 3. Here we are going to start standing with your feet grounded, spine tall, raise both arms overhead and bring your palms together, keeping your shoulders relaxed as you lengthen upward. Press your hips gently forward as you lift your chest, engaging your core to support the upward movement, and avoid straining your spine. Tilt your head back and lean onto a controlled back bend, maintaining steady breath. Hold the Anjali Mudra with the hands together. Ujjayi Kumbhaka with your breath. Clench the perineum in Mula Bandha. Chant the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. So, coming to a standard position, bring your hands together in Anjali Mudra and lean back. Bend your back as much as possible and hold the asana. Relax. Next, we are going to move on to Markatasana Adve, the monkey pose 2. So here, we are going to start standing with your feet wide apart, wider than the hip width. On the exhale, hinge from the hips, fold forward deeply, bringing your head all the way down and threading it between your thighs. Slide your index and middle finger around and holding the fingers. So here, we are going to stand with the feet wide apart. Fold forward, bring your head as much as possible and interlacing the fingers behind your head and bring your head underneath and below to the floor as much as possible. Here we will be holding the Shambhavi Mudra, Ujjayi Kumbhaka, Mula Bandha and chanting the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Relax. Next, we move on to Khandadi Asana, throat focused pose. Here, stand with the feet wide, knees bent at 90 degrees, stacked above the ankles, thighs parallel to the ground, and keep the spine straight, chest proud. Raise your arms parallel to the ground and bend your elbows to a 90-degree angle and facing the palms outward, hold firmly. So, stand with the feet wide apart, bend the thighs forming a 90-degree angle parallel to the floor with the feet and bring your hands to the chest. Hold the Shambhavi Mudra, Ujjayi Kumbhaka and Mula Bandha and chant the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Next, we are going to move on to Kaundinyasana, Sage Kaundinyas pose. Here, start by bending your knees and sinking your hip down. Twist your torso to one side. Bring both hands onto the upper mat, shoulder width apart. Place the thigh of your bent leg on the opposite arm and lean forward, shifting your weight onto the torso and lift your feet off the floor. Bring your heels down, forward to the glutes. Then extend the top leg straight back up. Hold the Shambhavi Mudra, Ujjayi Kumbhaka and chant the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. So, do this asanas as much as you are comfortable in these, holding these postures. Relax. Next, we move on to repeating the Kaundinyasana on the other side. Now moving the feet, shifting the weight, and holding the feet on the opposite side. Relax. Now moving on to Manduki Pavasana. So here we are going to start in a plank position on hands and toes with feet spread slightly wider than shoulder width. Lean over and wrap one arm behind your back to clasp onto the opposite hand's forearm. Keep your core engaged firmly and hold the three-limb stance. Maintain the length of your spine, and in this asana, hold the Shambhavi Mudra, Ujjayi Kumbhaka, Mula Bandha, and chant the japa Om Nithyananda Parama Shivoham. So coming onto a plank, shifting the weight to one arm, bring the other arm behind, holding the hand behind. Relax. Now we are going to repeat the Manduki Pavanasana. So we are going to lift, now bring the left hand to the floor. Bring the right arm behind your back, holding the left arm. Relax. Next we are going to move on to Hamsasana Trini, the swan pose. In this asana, start kneeling with your palms on the mat and just below the navel. Lean forward, bend your elbows and to stack them under your wrist. Lift both legs straight up to balance on your hands. Keep your gaze forward for stability and avoid collapsing. So here you're going to lean forward, bring your weight onto your elbows. And raise the feet above the floor. In this asana, we will be holding the Shambhavi Mudra, Ujjayi Kumbhaka, Mula Bandha, and chanting the japa Om Nithyananda Parama Shivoham. Next, we are moving on to Prasaritasana, the extended pose. Here we are going to start standing with your feet wide apart and hinge forward from your hips and bow your head towards the ground as low as comfortable. Extend your arms behind you and interlace your fingers behind and holding the Parashamudra, Ujjayi Kumbhaka, Jalandhara Bandha by tucking the chin towards the chest and chant the japa Om Nithyananda Parama Shivoham. So spread the feet apart, interlace the fingers behind you and bring them head down and bring the arms behind and above your head. Do as much as comfortable. You can bring your head down towards the floor. Relax. Next, we are moving on to Utkata Konasana, the goddess pose 2. Here, start with the feet wide, knees bent at 90 degrees, stacked above the ankles, thighs parallel to the ground. Keep the spine straight and chest tilted slightly downward. Rest your hands on the top of your respective knees with elbows locked and hold firmly, holding the Shambhavi Mudra, Ujjayi Kumbhaka, Mula Bandha and chanting the japa Om Nithyananda Parama Shivoham in Utkata Konasana. So, bringing the thighs parallel to the ground and hold the hands on your knees and hold the posture as comfortably as you can. Relax. Next, moving on to Parivrutta Utkata Konasana, the revolved goddess pose. So here stand with the feet wide, knees bent at 90 degrees and thighs parallel to the ground. Keep the spine straight, chest tilted slightly downward. Rest your hands on the top of your respective knees with elbows locked. Twist your upper torso towards the left, raising the chest upward. So, similar in the same position that we were earlier. This time we are just turning our gaze towards the left. Hold the Shambhavi Mudra. Ujjayi Kumbhaka Mula Bandha Chanta Japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Now we are going to repeat the Parivritta Utkata Konasana on the other side. Now rotating your torso towards your right. So continuing to remain in the same position, except now we are twisting your torso to the right side. Next, moving on to Utkata Konasana, the goddess pose. Here we are going to continue to remain in the same position, except this time bringing the arms up and raise your arms up parallel to the ground and bend the elbows at a 90 degree. So in the Utkata Konasana. So bring your feet and holding the arms up in Utkata Konasana. Here we are going to hold the Shambhavi Mudra Ujjayi Kumbhaka Mula Bandha and chanting the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Next we are moving on to Ghanasana, the compact pose. Here start standing tall with your feet flat, grounded beneath you. Let the arms rest naturally by your side with the shoulders wide, shoulders relaxed. Lengthen your spine, lift gently through the crown of your head. Hold the Shambhavi Mudra Ujjayi Kumbhaka Mula Bandha and chant the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. So just come to a standard position, feet slightly width, hip width, shoulder width apart, and just relax your arms by the sides. You are going to hold the Shambhavi Mudra Ujjayi Kumbhaka Mula Bandha and japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Relax. Now moving on to Tuladandasana, the balancing staff pose. So start standing tall in Tadasana and with your feet together. Inhale and lift your arms straight overhead. Clasping your hands with the index fingers pointing up, shift your weight slowly onto one foot and begin to raise the opposite leg behind you. Extend your lifted leg, arms, head and torso so they form a straight line parallel to the ground. Hold the Shambhavi Mudra Ujjayi Kumbhaka Mula Bandha and chant the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. So here we are going to stand on one leg, lean forward as you raise the other foot behind you and bring the arms parallel to the floor. Relax. Now moving on to the next asana, repeating the Tuladandasana, balancing staff pose on the other side. So if you were standing on the left leg before, now shift the weight to the right foot, standing tall and bringing this way. So this time shifting the weight to the right leg and bring your left leg behind, lean forward and extending the arms in front of you. You will be holding the Shambhavi Mudra Ujjayi Kumbhaka Mula Bandha, chanting the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Next we move on to Niradhara Adha Khagasana. So from a deep squat with the hands in prayer position, place your palms firmly on the ground in front of you, shoulder width apart. Lean forward, engage the core, lift your hip while straightening your legs. Shift the weight onto your hands, keep the arms straight and lift your feet off the ground. Draw the legs up to they form a 90-degree angle. Hold the Shambhavi Mudra Samavritti, inhaling through the nose, exhaling evenly and holding the Mula Bandha and chant the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. So shifting your weight to your arms, keeping your raising your hips, raise your legs, except the legs, the legs are parallel to the ground. So as we can see here, coming onto your hands, and the legs are parallel to the ground. Relax. Moving on to the next asana, Hastasana, handstand pose. So from a deep squat with the hands in prayer position, place your palms firmly on the ground in front of you, shoulder width apart, lean forward, engage the core, lift your hips while standing, straightening your legs. So basically we are going to be doing the handstand. So coming to standard position, bend your legs and lift your leg apart. So do the asanas as comfortably as you can, shifting the weight and bringing both feet, legs above the ground and lifting the weight onto your hands. In Hastasana, in the handstand pose. Relax. Now we are moving on to the next asana. Single hand tree pose, Hasta Vrikshasana. So shifting your weight from both hands, right? Like lifting one hand off the floor and shifting your weight to the other arm. So here, this asana actually develops exceptional balance, core stability, and shoulder strength. Also cultivates rooted resilience, quiet power, teaching the yogi to remain steady like a tree swaying gracefully in the wind. Hasta Vrikshasana. In this asana, you will be holding the Shambhavi Mudra, Samagriddhi, Moola Bandha, and chanting the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham in single hand tree pose. Now moving on to Ekahasta Niradhara Bhagasana, one-handed supported, unsupported sky mover pose. So again, this is an inverted pose with your weight on one hand, and it's an inverted pose. So standing tall with the feet hip width apart, shoulder relaxed, hinge forward is the hip, and place both hands firmly on the ground, fingertips spread wide, preparing to lift onto a headstand. Engage the core, kick both legs upward, bringing the body into a full headstand with arms straight, legs extended. One stable weight. Gradually shift your weight from both hands to one hand in Ekahasta Niradhara Asana. Relax. Moving on to the next asana. Hasta Vrikshasana, single hand tree pose repeated on the other side. So these asana is from Yoga Nimaya of Sundaradeva. Standing tall with the feet hip width apart, shoulder relaxed, hinge forward at the hips. Place both hands firmly on the ground, fingers spread wide, preparing to lift into a headstand. Engage the core, kick both legs upward, bringing the body into a full handstand with arms straight, legs extended. Once stable, gradually shift the weight to one hand. In Eka Hasta Niradhara Khagasana, one hand unsupported pose. So we are repeating the asanas on the other hand. If you had earlier done with the left arm down, shift your weight now to the right arm or vice versa. In this asana, we will be holding the Shambhavi Mudra, Samavriddhi, Mula Bandha and chanting the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. This asana is from chapter 10 verse 14 of the Malla Purana. Next, come down to seated position as we move on to Gomukhasana Trini, the cow face pose 3. So start seated with your knees stacked, right knee over the left in a grounded Gomukhasana pose, and bring your hands, cross your hands behind your head, holding the opposite shoulders and hold steady with the spine upright. Hold the Shambhavi Mudra, Apakarshaka Kumbhaka, partially closing the nose and doing the Rechaka Puraka. And hold the Mula Bandha and chant the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham in Gomukhasana Trini. Now moving on to Gomukhasana Chatwari, the cow face pose 4. You're going to continue to remain seated in the same position. Now raise your right elbow upward and place the right hand behind your back and clasp onto the fingers with your left hand coming from behind, from underneath. In this asana, you will hold the Shambhavi Mudra and Apakarshaka Kumbhaka, Mula Bandha and chant the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. This asana is from chapter 3 verse 8 of Hatha Ratnavali. Now we are moving on to Bandha Parshva Avesha. Bandha Parshva Avesha, side bend lean. So here, start seated with knees stacked, right knee over the left in Gomukhasana position. Bring your left hand behind your back, hold on to your right arm, keeping your right hand onto your belly. Lean forward towards the right side and bring your forehead towards the ground. Hold the Shambhavi Mudra, Apakarsha Kumbhaka, Mula Bandha and chant the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Next we are moving on to Shena Hasana, the half pose. Here, start seated with the left knee bent and foot on the right hip. Cross your right foot and keeping the knee raised, place the right foot flat onto the ground outside of the bent left knee. Take your left hand and hold on to the left knee and twist your upper body towards the right. And hold the Shambhavi Mudra, Apakarsha Kumbhaka, Mula Bandha and chant the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Next is Shena Hasana Purvanga, the hop pose progression. So here, start seated with your left knee bent and foot on the right hip. Under the right hip, cross your right foot, keeping the knee raised. Place the right foot flat onto the ground outside of the bent left knee. Take your right hand and hold on to the left foot at the hip, opening the chest towards the left side in the opposite direction. Raise your left arm up. So, you are raising the opposite arm, twisting and raising the arm up. Here we will be holding the Shambhavi Mudra, Apakarsha Kumbhaka Mula Bandha, and chanting the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Next, moving on to Go Matsyendrasana, Bhogling pose. So, start seated with your left knee bent, foot at the right hip. Place your right foot, keeping the knee raised. Place the right foot onto the ground outside of the left knee. Take your left hand and place it under the right knee and wrap your right arm behind your back. So, bringing the right arm behind and try to bring your hands as close as possible. Here, hold the Shambhavi Mudra, Parasha Mudra, Apakarsha Kumbhaka, Mula Bandha, chant the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Relax. Now we are moving on to Ardhasanam, repeating the half-seated pose on the other side. So here, from a seated position, bring one foot, place it on top of the opposite thigh, keeping the chest bent beneath you and extended comfortably. Sit upright with the spine tall and shoulders relaxed. Rest the hands on the knees or thighs, palms facing up or down. Maintain a steady breath and inward focus. Hold the Vaishnavi Mudra, Apakarsha Kumbhakam, Mula Bandha, and chant the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham in Ardhasanam, half-seated pose. Next we move on to Vama Chaturam, Sapadasana, the left quarter foot pose. Here we are going to start in a seated position, stacking one knee directly over the other, so the legs fold in towards the center line. Sitting bones round evenly. Keep your spine tall as you soften your shoulders away from your ears. Now, instead of reaching the arms behind the back, interlace your fingers in front of your stomach, allowing the hands to rest lightly against the lower abdomen. Maintain an open chest and steady breath. Here, hold the Parasha Mudra, Apakarsha Kumbhaka, Mula Bandha, and chant the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Relax. Now we move on to Charpatiyasana, the woodcutter pose. Here, start seated with your knees stacked. Continue to remain seated. Now you keep your place the back of your hands on the respective hips, palm facing outward. Hold the Shambhavi Mudra, Apakarsha Kumbhaka, Mula Bandha, and chant the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. This asana is from Naridya Samhita. Now moving on to Govindasana, the Lord of Cows pose. Continuing to remain seated in the same position. This time you are going to place the hands on back of your hands on the thighs, palms facing upward. Hold the Shambhavi Mudra, Apakarsha Kumbhaka, Mula Bandha, and chant the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham in Govindasana. Relax. We are moving on to Lavli Asana, internal wave pose. continuing to remain seated in the same position. Now hold the feet with respective hands and keep your spine elongated. Pull the abdomen inward and upward in Udhyana Bandha and Sakshi Chalana Mudra, holding the Sakshi Chalana Mudra, awakening the base energy with steady intent, drawing prana upward toward the spine, holding the Apakarsha Kumbhaka, partially closing the nose and doing the Rechaka Puraka, and Udhyana Bandha and chanting the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Next, we are moving on to Jhanu Prerana Hasana, knee shifted pose repeated on the other side. So now shift your legs. Now, if you had the right knee up, bring the right knee down and stack it with the left knee on top, holding the hands, feet with the respective hands. Lean forward towards the left side. So now, without forcing, gently lean forward towards your thigh for a deep stretch. Here, we will be holding the Prana Mudra, Apakarsha Kumbhaka, Mula Bandha and chant the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham in Jhanu Prerana Hasana. Relax. Moving on to Pada Samyukta Pravritti Hasana, cross-legged turn repeated pose. Now continuing to remain seated in the same position. Now we are going to bring the opposite hands holding the big toes. Gently lean over the raised knee, lowering your chest and forward for a deep stretch. So just bring the hands holding the opposite foot. And hold the Apakarsha Kumbhaka, Mula Bandha, and chant the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham internally. Next, we are moving on to Ganeshasana repeated. So continuing to remain in this seated same position, this time bringing the arms behind, opposite arms holding onto the opposite toes, the right side. Opposite, bringing the arms behind, right hand holds onto the right foot and left hand bringing towards the left foot. Here we will be holding the Udhyana Bandha, drawing the abdomen inward towards the spine, and Apakarsha Kumbhaka and chant the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham in Ganeshasana. Next, we are moving on to Bandha Parshva Aveshasana, side bend lean repeated. So continuing to remain seated in the same position. This time, bring your right hand behind your back and hold on to the left arm, keeping your left hand on your belly. Lean towards your left side and bring your forehead towards the ground. Hold the Shambhavi Mudra, Apakarsha Kumbhaka, Mula Bandha and chant the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Now we are going to move on to Syena Hasana, hawk pose repeated on the other side. So start seated. Now continuing to start seated with your right knee bent, foot and the left hip. Cross the left foot, keeping the knee raised, and place the left foot onto the ground outside of the bent right knee. Take your right hand behind and hold onto the right knee and twist your body upward towards the left, bringing your left arm behind your back and holding onto the opposite hip and turn back towards your left side. Hold the Shambhavi Mudra, Apakarsha Kumbhaka, Mula Bandha, and chant the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Relax. Next, we move on to Syenahasana, Purvanga Dve. Half pose progression repeated. So start seated with the right knee bent and cross your left foot. Keep the right knee raised. Place the left foot flat on the ground. Take your left hand and hold on to the right foot. And raise your left hand behind as you turn towards the back. Hold the Shambhavi Mudra, Apakarsha Kumbhaka, Mula Bandha, and chant the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Next, we are moving on to Go Matsyendrasana, bow pulling pose. So, sitting in the same position, take your right hand and place it under the left knee and bring your left hand from behind and try to interlace the fingers in and hold the Shambhavi Mudra, Apakarsha Kumbhaka, Mula Bandha, and chant the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Relax. Now we are moving on to Ardha Kurmasana, half tortoise pose. Sit with your knees on the ground and toes flat outside of your hips. Exhale, lower your chest to floor, keep hips between heels. Place in prayer position, your palms in prayer position beneath the throat with the tips of the finger touching the chin as it rests on the ground. In Kurma Mudra and Ujjayi Kumbhaka, making the sound of the ocean with your breath, clenching the perineum in Mula Bandha and chanting the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. In Kurma Asana. Ardha Kurmasana. Relax. Now moving on to Sauryasana, the solar pose. So now start in a kneeling position with your toes tucked and sitting bones on your back. Heels, spread your knees wide out and place your palms on respective thighs so the fingers point upward out towards the body. And keep your spine long and chest upright as you hold the position. Engage your core gently for stability. Hold the Shambhavi Mudra, Ujjayi Kumbhaka, Udhyana Bandha by drawing the abdomen inward and towards the spine. Chant the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Next we move on to Dakshina Gri Pavana Muktasana. Dakshina Gri Pavana Muktasana, the wind release pose. So start seated with one heel down, drawn close to the perineum, grounding your weight evenly. Place your opposite foot flat on the ground with the knees raised upward, keeping your spine long. Thread your arm across one another in front of your chest, sliding them between your torso and lift the tight to create a secure. Maintain steady breath and upright posture and hold the Shambhavi Mudra, Ujjayi Kumbhaka Mula Bandha, chant the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Next we move on to Ardha Paschimottanasana, half western stretch pose. Here sit with one leg stretched out straight in front. Place the heel of the other foot firmly against the perineum. Apply gentle pressure. Extend your arm forward to grip the toes of the stretched leg. Lean your head forward to rest the bend above the bend. Hold the Shambhavi Mudra, Mula Bandha, and chant the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Relax. Now we move on to Vama Vakrasana, left twisted pose. Here, start sitting on your knees with your right heel resting beneath your sitting bone for support, and bring the left knee to the outside of your left hip, allowing the legs to settle comfortably. Lengthen your spine and place your hands on the foot in front of your stomach, one resting on top of the other, and maintain a steady breath. Hold the Shambhavi Mudra, Ujjayi Kumbhaka, Mula Bandha, and chant the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Now we are going to repeat the Vama Grihi Pavana Muktasana on the other side. So this time, coming onto the left foot, bringing the right knee down and bringing the arms in front of your chest. Holding the Shambhavi Mudra, Ujjayi Kumbhaka, Mula Bandha, and chant the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Relax. Now we are moving on to Ardha Paschimottanasana, half western stretch pose repeated on the other side. So, holding, now turning, repeating on the left leg stretch. Hold your left foot and gently lean forward towards your stretched leg. Hold the Shambhavi Mudra, Ujjayi Kumbhaka, Mula Bandha, and chant the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Next, we are moving on to Dakshina Vakrasana, the right twisted pose. So start sitting on your knees with the left heel resting beneath your sitting bones. For support, bring your right knee to the outside of your right hip. Now sit comfortably, lengthen your spine and interlace the hands in front of your belly. Place your hands in front of your stomach, one resting on top of the other. Sorry, it's not interlacing, I'm just bringing the hands one in front of the other. Hold the Shambhavi Mudra, Ujjayi Kumbhaka, Mula Bandha, and chant the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Relax. Now we move on to Kapotahasana Dve, the low pose 2. Here, from a kneeling position, bring your hands onto the ground in front of you. Extend one leg straight back and keep the opposite knee bent, heel slightly crossed inward. Bring your hands on the respective hips and push the hips and chest forward. So, here, we're going to stretch one leg behind, fold the other knee forward, leg forward. Bring your hands to your hips and gently press and lift your chest. Hold the Shambhavi Mudra, Ujjayi Kumbhaka, Mula Bandha, and chant the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham in Kapotahasana Dve. Now we are moving on to Kapotahasana Dve Purvanga, the toe pose to preliminary. This time, Continuing to remain in the same position, except you're going to fold the leg that was behind. If your left leg was behind, fold the left knee to bring the toes up and try to reach and hold with your left hand. So, remaining here, instead of keeping the foot straight, you will bend your knees and bring the foot as you try to reach the foot from above the head. And hold with your respective arm. Hold the Shambhavi Mudra, Ujjayi Kumbhaka, Moola Bandha and chant the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Next we move on to Prishta Baddha Bhairavasana, back bound Bhairava pose. So continuing to remain in the same position. Now you're holding your left foot with your left arm, bringing the right arm behind your back and hold on to the other toe, to the opposite toe. So do as much as comfortably as you can. So bring the left foot back, bend your left knee, try to reach and hold the arm, the left foot from the left arm, and bring the right hand behind you and hold on to the right toe. Here, as we do this asana, hold the Shambhavi Mudra, Ujjayi Kumbhaka, Moola Bandha and chant the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Next, we are moving on to Kapota Hasana Dve Uttaranga, the door pose to progression. So now, with the left leg stretched behind, originally your right knee was bent. Now you're going to open and allow the right knee also stretched open forward and bringing the left foot open behind and holding your hip with your arms. So do as much as you can. So let's start with the left foot forward, the left leg stretched behind, your right leg is in front. Now slowly open and stretch, open the hips and try to bring the right foot forward as well. So do as much as comfortably as you can and bring the hands to your hips. Relax. Here we hold the Shambhavi Mudra, Ujjayi Kumbhaka and Moola Bandha, chanting the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Next is Kapota Hasana Dve Uttaranga Dve. So, door pose 2 and the progression 2. So, from the previous asana, from the previous position, lean forward, bringing the hands towards the leg. So, let us try. Start with the left foot behind. Stretch the right leg forward as much as comfortably you can. Then you're going to bring the arm forward, the hands holding on to the right foot and leaning forward towards the right leg. Hold the Shambhavi Mudra, Ujjayi Kumbhaka, Moola Bandha and chant the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. So now we are going to repeat the sequence on the other side. Kapota Hasana Dve. So this time stretch your right leg behind and left leg in the front. Bring your hands to the hips and open your chest. Hold the Shambhavi Mudra, Ujjayi Kumbhaka, Moola Bandha and chant the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Next we are going to move on to the Kapota Hasana Dve Purvanga, So the door pose 2 preliminary repeated. So continuing to remain in this same position. This time bend your right knee to bring the right foot up and try to reach and hold the right foot with your right hand. Hold the Shambhavi Mudra, Ujjayi Kumbhaka, Mula Bandha, chant the japa Om Nithyananda Parama Shivoham. So try to bring the arm above and try to reach your right foot. So try to reach with both arms. Relax. Now we are going to move on to the next asana, Prishta Baddha Bhairavasana, back bound Bhairava pose. So this time you are going to bring the left arm to wrap around your back and try to reach the left toe. So holding the Shambhavi Mudra, Ujjayi Kumbhaka, Mulabandha, chanting the japa Om Nithyananda Parama Shivoham. So bringing the left arm behind and wrapping around to hold on to the left toe. Relax. Now we move on to the Kapota Hasana Dve, Uttaranga Dve. Uttaranga, Kapota Hasana Dve, Uttaranga, the door pose to progression, repeated on the other side. Now this time, bring your left leg, straighten the left leg in front of you and having the right leg behind you, stretch, and the left leg stretch in front of you. Hold the Shambhavi Mudra, Ujjayi Kumbhaka, Mula Bandha, and chant the japa Om Nithyananda Parama Shivoham. So doing this asana as much as comfortably you can do. Straighten the left leg in front of you and having the right leg behind you. Relax. Next we move on to Kapota Hasana Dve, Uttaranga Dve, door pose to progression 2. So from here, from this posture, just lean forward, bring your hands to the left foot and lean your forehead towards your left knee. Hold the Shambhavi Mudra, Ujjayi Kumbhaka, Mula Bandha and chant the japa Om Nithyananda Parama Shivoham. So stretching the left leg forward, bring your forehead, holding the left foot with both hands, lean forward and bring your forehead to the floor. Relax. Now we are moving on to Nihsvasana. Nihsvasana, the exhalation pose. Now start sitting with both legs extended straight out in front of you, spine tall, ground through your sitting bones as you lengthen upward towards the crown of your head. Interlace your fingers at the navel. Keep your hands relaxed yet steady. Maintain an open chest and focus on a smooth, even exhalation, calming the breath. Holding the Parashu Mudra, Ujjayi Kumbhaka, Mula Bandha and chant the japa Om Nithyananda Parama Shivoham. Nihsvasana. Next, we are moving on to Garbhasana Dve, embryo pose 2. So from this seated position, lean forward and bring your hands to your feet and bring your forehead towards the knees. Hold the Prana Mudra, Ujjayi Kumbhaka, Mula Bandha and chant the japa Om Nithyananda Parama Shivoham. Next, we move on to Trikonasana Purvanga, the triangle pose 3 preliminary. So here we are going to spread the legs wide apart and hold the respective feet with the respective hands, and bring your forehead or your chin to the floor in front of you. Hold the Prana Mudra, extend the index and middle finger together, and Ujjayi Kumbhaka and Mula Bandha, chanting the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. So spreading the legs as wide as possible and bringing your both hands to the respective toes and lean forward towards the floor and bring your chin towards the floor. Next, we move on to Trikonahasana Trini, the triangle pose 3. So, continuing to remain in the same position, bring your chin to the floor, rotate your back and extend your feet onto the ground behind, keep your hips raised and spread the feet wide, chin tucks to your chest. So bring your forehead to the floor, spreading the feet, legs wide apart, hands holding the respective toes, and try to bring your forehead to the floor. Holding the Prana Mudra, Ujjayi Kumbhaka and Jalandhara Bandha, tucking your chin to your chest and chanting japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Next, we move on to Trikonahasana Uttaranga, the triangle pose 3. So here, we are going to, from a seated position, rotate onto your back and extend your feet and onto the ground behind. Keep your hips raised and wrap your arms beneath your respective shin and hold on to your feet. Do your best you can in doing this asana. Hold the Shambhavi Mudra, Ujjayi Kumbhaka, Jalandhara Bandha by tucking the chin to the chest. So coming onto your knees, bring your forehead down and bring your arms inside and holding onto the shin. Onto the feet. Bringing your head to the floor. Relax. Now we have come to the final asana of the sequence, Smasana Vasasana. Cremation ground dwelling pose. So come, lay down on your back with your arms by your side, relaxed, your feet completely relaxed. Start laying on your back with your legs extended and feet relaxed. Rest your arms slightly away from your body with your palms facing up. Let your shoulders soften onto the mat. Place the hands comfortably at your side for ease. Avoid tensing your jaws or holding your breath. Holding the Shakshi Chalana Mudra, awaken the base energy with a steady intent. Kevala Kumbhaka, allowing the breath to pass naturally. Clenching your perineum in Mula Bandha. Internally chanting the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Now slowly rotate your ankles. Rotate your hands. Bend your knees. Bring your knees to the chest. Gently hug your knees and rock side to side. And slowly come up to a seated position. Congratulations! We have completed 900 asanas over the last few days, and each and every one of you did a wonderful job. I hope you enjoyed today's session. If you did, please do like and share this channel and this video. And if you'd like to get a deeper experience of the asanas that you have been learning, please welcome and register for the Paramashiva Sena, a 30-day program completely offered for free, that is offered both in Guinea-Bissau in West Africa and in Tiruvannamalai, Kailasa Tiruvannamalai in Bharat. So I hope you enjoyed, and you can register for the program by scanning the QR code on the video. Thank you all for joining. We will see you tomorrow. Till then, let us now chant and offer our gratitude to Swamiji for giving us this Nithyananda Yoga. And let us now close with the Purna Mantra. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Sarvam Bhagavat Shri Nithyananda Paramashiva Padikarpanamastu. Om Nithyanandam. Thank you everyone. Nithyanandam.